Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a tarot oracle reading. This is for the bonus reading for the full moon on July 29th. And Pisces, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Pisces, we all have a little bit of Pisces in us somewhere. If you do have your birth chart, which house is Pisces in? That will give you further clarity as to where this information is most prominent for you. All right, this is general collective reading, so take the parts that resonate with you and leave the rest. Okay, the underlying energy for this reading and the full moon energy coming through in the next 6 days or 7 days. And it's on July 29th, and I think it's the 25th now. So we're going to start really feeling this energy coming in. Typically, we will feel the full moon energy 3 days before and 3 days after. So the underlying energy for this reading is talking about the Two of Pentacles. Now, the Two of Pentacles is, the Pentacles represent health, wealth, happiness in the 3D world. It's the element of earth, so it's about earthly matters, matters of the earth, physical matter. Money is a big part of happiness in 3D. We need to have money, but we're talking more than just money. We're talking about lifestyle. You could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want to live. So if you don't have your health and you don't have love, etc. So this energy is talking about you might be very busy right now, a lot of multitasking going on. This can talk about how when we become busy, we can be, it can gain momentum. It starts off as a small ship and then it gets bigger and bigger. And sometimes we just end up being busy because we're busy. And that can lead to quantity over quality work. And sometimes then you just end up doing things twice. So this is saying you want to have that balance between being, like at a good steady rate is better than being busy all the time. Now, this is also representing two extremes. And this full moon is kind of talking about a little bit of that energy. The full moon is in the sign of Aquarius, and Aquarius energy, this full moon is talking about individuality and the importance of that, as well as the group. How important is that? Aquarius is kind of like half and half energy. Aquarius energy is very quick-witted. It's an element of air, that sign. So it's, their mind works quickly, and they really do value individuality, the Aquarius energy. Having said that, they also really like to include the group and get like consensus, etc. On the full moon, when there's a full moon, whatever the sign is exactly opposing the position of, like Aquarius is Leo on the zodiac chart. And so the Leo energy, this is from, the sun is in Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun. And the sun is shining light on any hidden illusions or secrets being held in the full moon. And also, the full moon is a time when it's a great time to let go of what no longer serves us so we can make room for the new. And also, like at the new moon, we may have made intentions and we still have a couple of weeks to complete that, but we need to kind of take a look again and reassess. What else do we need to let go of? What would be the best way to proceed to accomplish the goals that we set at the new moon? Now, the Leo energy is really finds independence to be very important. And they are natural born leaders, but they mature later in life. So they sometimes, when they lack confidence, can appear to be arrogant because they've got this natural leadership desire. It's built into their character a lot of the time. And they're maybe not quite mature enough to be able to do it, as well as they will later in life. The Leo energy is kind of like, hey, I'm the leader, just follow me. And my way or the highway, sometimes it can be that way. They do not like to, they want to be the leader and have people follow them. They don't want to be one of the followers for sure. So we do have that kind of, it's not a full-on conflict. The Aquarius and Leo energy are in agreement that individuality is important, but to what extent, basically. So this is talking about that energy, and it's also talking about, you know, those two extremes and other extremes. This card says, you know, juggle your options, but never juggle your morals. And it looks like someone may have juggled their morals when it comes to love life. This is the Aquarius energy from the full moon coming in. And we have, like, the cups in tarot represent love. It usually, quite often, is romantic love, but especially in this card. But it doesn't have to be. It can be love of anyone, love of anything, and even something you love to do or something you love to be. In a matter of a romantic situation, it looks like we have two cups and a third one here, which may be talking about a third-party energy. And there's some disappointment here, definitely, for sure, from that. And sometimes it can even be a fourth gift of a pregnancy that is between, like, the third party and not the couple. So it could be a very disappointing situation. This person is sitting under the tree and feeling really sad about love. If it's not about romantic love, it could be representing giving anyone 3 chances. Like, that could be in romantic love, or it could also be in your friends, your family, business partners, peers, whatever that is. You know, having already given them 3 chances, and they've struck out, basically. And they're asking for a 4th chance here. But you're saying, no way, 3 strikes, you're out, I'm done. I'm not entertaining this energy anymore. It could also represent maybe attempting to launch a project or having 3 different relationships, whether that be in business or friendships or whatever, or in love, and them not being successful. And the universe is saying, come on, give it one more go. This is something you love to do. You know, give it another chance. And you might be feeling like, oh, I just don't really want to. I've been disappointed too many times. I don't feel like I have the strength to do it again, or the patience. But, you know, you can't just sit under that tree and give up on love, on things that you love to do or be. So hopefully you'll come to the conclusion, may as well get up and give it another go. We do have the King of Swords energy here. This can talk about people who are, you know, your occupation might be, you might be well educated, and your occupation could be using words. The sword energy is talking about mental intelligence, discipline of the mind. It represents the element of air. So it's talking about your thoughts. And your thoughts are expressed by words. Sometimes those could be spoken. Sometimes those could be written. This energy can represent an authority figure for sure. Someone who uses, you know, is well educated and uses their words rather than physical labor to earn their living. And it would be talking about, you know, possibly, like, we have a king here. So if it's a politician energy, which quite often this can represent, we could be talking about, you know, a president, a prime minister. We could be talking about, you know, the Senate, Congress, ministers in the federal government, you know, that type of energy. People who are, you know, political figures that make the laws and then make sure that the laws are carried out. This could be a best-selling author. Perhaps you've written a book and it's on the New York Times bestseller list. We have the energy of someone who's a speaker. Maybe you could also be, definitely this can represent legal matters. The King of Swords is most likely to be, of the 4 kings, someone who's divorced, as well as the Queen of Swords. The energy is talking about, you know, if this is a lawyer, this would most likely be a lawyer in an established firm, maybe a partner in an established firm. This could be head prosecutors, chief of police, judges, you know, that type of energy. This could also represent surgeons, veterinarians, dentists, psychiatrist energy. People that basically do use their words to move forward. It could even be someone who's doing research, or even engineers with patents, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of, this is basically what it is saying, though, is that the King of Swords is generally good with words. You can see the word in between the 2 S's there. And this is talking about being charismatic and able to use their words in a way to be convincing. And also, it can talk about, the King of Swords does understand that words can be used as weapons and they can be used to uplift people. And also, the king knows that if you give your word and then you don't follow it up with action, that your word becomes useless. So actions do speak louder than words. And we do have this energy of the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is one pentacle away from the ultimate that you can receive in pentacle energy. So this energy can be talking about that you have really put a lot of time and energy into your work life. And maybe it's heavy on that side, and you just haven't had the time to really dedicate or haven't been ready to dedicate to your more, like your significant other, or even searching for one, or finding that energy, even something that you want at this time in your life. That's the energy I'm picking up. Very career-focused energy here coming in from the Aquarius moon. We have the Nine of Pentacles here. This always reminds me of Nikola Tesla. He talks about if you knew the beauty of the 3, 6, 9, then you would have the key to the universe. And I feel like that falcon is representing that foresight that he's talking about, and that he's speaking of a ratio. You see this person, she's actually in pre-Empress energy. And in tarot, the Empress is in the major arcana, and she represents the qualities of all 4 queens from the minor arcana. She's had enough life experience that she's learned, quite often the hard way, how to, the discernment of how much time and money and energy to invest in any given project or person, or, whatever it is that you're working on. And I feel like Nikola Tesla was talking about this ratio. She has her hand on 2/3 of what she has, and this 1/3 is over here. So this is talking about how she understands that she has to look after her needs first, like as far as paying the bills that she needs to for her business and her, her family and her home, and as well having some excess money there in case of emergency. And then she uses the other third. Maybe she'll give 1/3 to charity, and another third, maybe she'll invest in a more risky venture that could really pay off. And if it does, then it'll really improve her financial portfolio. But if it doesn't, it won't affect her ability to pay her bills. And then maybe another one, she's saving up for a vacation or some special occasion, something like that. And so this is talking about, understanding that if you don't look after your own needs and make sure that you're strong in that and have time for yourself, you will deplete yourself trying to please everybody else. And so there's that fine line, and that's this energy that's coming up with this full moon. Is this energy of, is the individual more important than the group, the family, the business, or is that more important than you? And quite often when we have young children, we do, there's times where you just have to put the needs of your children first. I mean, it's just the way it is. But there's a certain point to which that you have to look after yourself, or you're not going to be able to be strong enough to look after those around you. And then from the Leo energy, from the sun shining energy on this situation, we do have the Emperor. So you could be you might have your eye, or you might be saying you're done with love. But if you're in this Emperor energy, or say you're in this pre-Empress energy, there's an Emperor right here. And so quite often that would represent a couple. So the Emperor, like the Queen or the Empress, he embodies all of the qualities of all 4 kings through life experience. He's known to be very wise and looked up to as an authority figure for sure. This is alpha male energy. He wears his robe, his armor underneath his robe. He's ready to grab any opportunity that comes up at a moment's notice. At the same time, he doesn't have to fight very often, because the beta males around him recognize an alpha male when they see one. And they have seen him clean other people's clocks. So they don't approach him and, in an aggressive way very often. It's very rare, because he stands in that energy. He's at the top of his field, whatever he's in, an authority figure, and someone that has a lot of common sense and life experience at the same time. And we do have an energy here of the Three of Wands. The wands represent the element of fire, and this is talking about moving forward with strong action. The element of fire, the wands are made of wood because wood fuels the fire, and then this creates passionate action. So this is you standing on the precipice of change and wanting to, you can see that the sun is shining on this, so it's talking about a new adventure coming through. This sometimes represents a portal almost that you're walking through. And quite often this can be maybe you just split up in a relationship. You might even be divorcing or divorced, because quite often this can represent a divorce lawyer. And you're leaving this couple and you're moving forward as a single person. And this could be your energy as the emperor, or but maybe an empress has attracted your eye. And so you're thinking, which way should I go? And so in any case, this person is standing on the precipice of change. There's ships sailing by here on this water, and he's thinking about, hopping on one of those ships and going for an adventure. Maybe the adventure is, pursuing a new love again. It's been coming up in quite a lot of the readings. And if it's not representing like romantic love, this could be representing tackling something that you've always wanted to do, that you really love to do, and you hold close to your heart, and you're thinking, you know what, may as well do it now because of whatever's happened here. Like we have this energy here of the Two of Swords as well, and the Two of Swords is when someone has a closed mind. And it's kind of talking about this energy here, like, is it this or that? Is it this or that? This is talking about, there's never only two ways of doing something. The thing about the Emperor is he can be controlling, and so he can be like my way or the highway. And this is that kind of Leo energy where I'm the leader, do as I say, not, and hopefully as he does, but, kind of that energy. He wants to be the leader. And so this is talking about, there might be that push-pull in you right now, deciding whether or not you just want to be single or be in a couple, even though you've met someone maybe that, has caught your eye. And this is talking about, being undecided. She's sitting here and her feet are turned out. And in body language, this is talking about having leaking energy from your base chakra, like not 100% focused and right on the game plan. And her arms are crossed over her heart, representing protecting her heart and being vulnerable. So there could have been something that happened in love that's you're still kind of nursing this energy, or the person that you're pursuing is sort of just getting out of this energy. So the right arm is holding the left arm back, and that sometimes can be logic holding back the feeling part of ourself, our intuition. And these swords are double-edged. You're always going to be better off if you use your logic and your intuition together and come to creative solutions. I feel like, we have the full moon, but there's a new moon in the background. So this could be something that maybe started, that got in your head around the new moon energy. And it's saying, let go of the rest of what's holding you back and, then make the decision. See where you're at after you open your mind up. That blindfold is saying use your third eye sometimes instead of using your physical eyes. There's a saying, because you have eyes you cannot see, and that sounds kind of weird, but it's talking about the human eye can only pick up a very thin band on the full spectrum of light, and so we aren't ever really seeing everything. Like even my cat, I was doing some readings earlier. She was flying around here chasing after all sorts of things. And I couldn't see what she was chasing, but she definitely can. And so the human eye doesn't detect absolutely everything. So a lot of times when people say, well, I'll believe it when I see it, really, you're not really seeing the whole picture anyway. So it might be just, you need to look at the situation with your third eye, with your intuition, and open your heart up to it instead of just being 100% logical. And that's the one thing about the Leo energy. It's very heartfelt. It's very passionate. And so that kind of energy, bringing that into the picture could be beneficial for you. I mean, this full moon energy is really, it's challenging a lot of people's belief systems. And there's a lot of motivation with this full moon to change, you know, and to make improvements in your life. And quite often there's that conflict can be between, like, you don't want to juggle your morals when you're juggling your fears. And so it's talking about facing a lot of maybe fears that you have from past situations and moving forward anyway. You know, courage is not lack of fear, it's just facing the fear and moving forward through it. Because otherwise, how are you going to really get what you really want, the lifestyle that you really want to be living? And this kind of energy, it can give a lot of meaning, like a higher meaning to the struggles that you go through. We have an Empress and an Emperor here. They've been through a lot of life experience. And a lot of that, they've learned things the hard way. And so that's why their advice is valuable, because they've been there and they've done that, you know, and they've managed to stay in the upper, you know, like be the best version that they can be and do things as correctly as they possibly can. And so this is like, this full moon gives us incentive, like, let's move forward anyway. Like, there could be bad news all over the earth right now. Who knows? We have a lot of forest fires. So around where I am right now, it's, you know, it's pretty smoky out there. There's a lot of fire, a lot of smoke, and a lot of people being evacuated. I'm safe where I am at this time. I'm not concerned about that, but you can really feel it in the air quality. And, you know, when you're breathing in the air and it feels like it just smells of smoke, it's really, you know, like it sets an instinct in people immediately, like to be on high alert. You know, your body gets really anxious. And then we have, so this can be issues of power and control. And like the forest fire energy, like, you know, when those fires get out of control and they're heading towards people's properties, sometimes there's just nothing that you can do, you know. And so, you're not always going to have control of every situation, you know, and so you don't, you know, and you're not always going to be the more powerful than what's coming towards you, but you can respond to it rather than react to it. And then you'll probably have a much better outcome, especially if you have a full mind or, an open mind. And so coming from here, this is like open your mind up to all the possibilities, open your heart up, you know, love, especially if it's a matter of love that's holding you back. I know that's not logical, really. Like, you have to apply your logic, but you have to open up to your authentic desires and juggle those, balance that energy evenly. And yeah, it can be difficult if you've been disappointed, but you don't really want to sit under that tree. Like, that guy doesn't even look very old. So you don't want to go without love for the rest of your life. You know, it would be sad. And then we have the Emperor. I feel like deciding, like, whoa, look at that Empress. You know, I just got out of this relationship and I said I wouldn't do this again, but I'm interested. And so, you know, that's kind of like that energy. Like, you never know what's going to come up next. And so deciding, okay, I'm single now and I'm not going to get into another couplehood. And then you meet someone and you're like, dang, no, you know. The divorce and the that feeling of, oh, wow, like meeting someone new and really feeling enthusiastic and passionate about it. But at the same time, just having been through getting out of a relationship, possibly, you know, it's a fine line. And so Pisces, it feels like if this isn't about love, it just could be about something you love to do or be, or moving, changing location. Sometimes expanding what you already have, like starting another franchise, or, you know, that type of, it can be entrepreneur energy for sure, represented here with all the pentacles. I am going to clarify this for those that want further clarification. If you're leaving the reading here, thank you for your time and energy. I really appreciate it. And your likes and comments and shares, subscribes Very much appreciated. All right, the numbers on these cards are representing the numbers of the paintings as they are in my on my website. This is Tales from the Vector, and it's courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. The numbers here represent the paintings as they're listed in the gallery on my website, talesfromthevector.com. I will put them in the box below in the description for the video. In the order they appear here. If you want to take a look, you can. They say a picture paints 1,000 words, so it might give you further clarity. Okay, so this is an energy here. We have father figures on here. So this could even be like you're in a relationship and you maybe you and your partner are deciding, should we start a family? So it definitely could be that type of energy, as well as the other things the father figure can represent these authority figures that you go to for advice. But possibly this is talking about maybe wanting to expand your horizons by starting a family. Maybe you met the perfect father figure, or the perfect, you feel like you are ready to be a father. Could be that sort of energy. And then we have the Hierophant for sitting on here. So there is some sort of justice coming in from that. This is talking about traditional structure. I don't know, maybe you have never thought you would get divorced and you did, and maybe you it didn't work out for whatever reason, and you're feeling really like there was no justice in the situation. There's some sort of energy there. This doesn't have to be about love either. This could be a business partner. Maybe you've been caught up with lawyer energy, and that, like, whether it's in love of a romantic situation, if you have like a business partner that didn't do well with you, that, or a friend that let you down, or that type of family members, it can affect your ability to feel like you want to get into relationships of any kind after that for a while. So this is talking about, the Hierophant represents, as long as you've been on the right side of spiritual and physical law, that this is a blessing coming in for you, that some sort of justice will be coming in for the situation if you're involved in that type of energy. And we have Temperance here. So this is talking about being devoted to your destined path and having the patience to get through difficult situations without, like, losing your shift kind of energy. And this is talking about staying on your destined path, which is to be the best version that you can be of yourself, rather than giving into like the shift going on around you and kind of like, oh, if you can't beat them, join them. This is saying that you've been very determined to be in the up and up and be the best version that you can be of yourself. And it's paying off, because look at, it's saying you are pretty much an Empress energy here. And that's why, is because no matter what you've been through, you are in that energy of having done your best. And that's something that you can be really proud of. That's the energy I was picking up here. So it's kind of it's when people are going through difficult times, it can be really easy to say, to heck with it. I'm going to just do what's best for me, and everybody else can suffer. But you didn't do that. You considered other people and came out of it like on top. I feel like people look up to the Empress as a powerful manifester, and someone who has love and is maternal enough to look after those around her as well. And so that's really good energy. And then we have the Capricorn energy. So this is about having a lot of ambition. And this card has been coming up in the readings quite a bit in this set, like the Capricorn energy of, there's so much going on in the world right now, and it can just be like kind of overwhelming at times, and it can get really emotional. And this is talking about being able to be ambitious. Like the Capricorn energy is ambitious. They take consistent steps of action towards their goals, and they see the possibilities and challenges, whereas a lot of other people can't and would give up. The Capricorn energy, the glyph is a mountain goat with a dolphin tail. So you can imagine climbing a mountain with a dolphin tail and sliding back down. They'll just get right back up and start climbing again. It's very disciplined and responsible energy, very much the the Emperor's energy. Like, the Emperor is not a quitter unless it's time to quit. Then he knows when it's time to quit. Just like he'll fight for things, but he won't fight unless it's absolutely necessary. It's not he doesn't feel the need to. We have the Pisces energy, and this is talking about Saturn and Neptune. And, you know, Neptune moved into the sign of Aries about 2.5 months ago now. And that is what rules. Saturn and Neptune rule over this energy of the Piscean energy. And Neptune takes 14 years to move into another sign, and it did move into Aries from Pisces about 2.5 months ago. And you were comfortable with it in there for sure. Like, this is about the way we approach life, our idealism. And in Pisces, Neptune was really comfortable, and it was like things will work out, and, you know, you set up your systems. And for the last 14 years, you set up your systems, you perfect them, you do it this way, and it's always successful. But now Neptune moved into Aries, and this is like, the Pisces energy is the last sign in the zodiac, the authority figure, the senior executive. You know exactly how to do things. It's very much this energy here. And then now it's in the energy shifting. Neptune moved into Aries. This is a brand new baby, the very first sign. And it's a fire sign, not a water sign. And it's ruled by Mars, which is much more aggressive energy. The baby's crying. If you've ever had a baby, a newborn baby in the house, you know when the baby's crying for something so little and helpless, they sure do control the roost. And everybody's running around trying to figure out why the baby's crying. And you may be, a lot of people are feeling this in the energy right now. Like, you might have to tweak the way that you've been doing business. Neptune is going to be in Aries now for the next 14 years. So it's not like just a short period of time, and it's just settling in. So you would be in particular really feeling this energy. And it's also Saturn went retrograde tomorrow. Or tonight, around sometime today. It's Saturday. So Saturn, and this is like Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn all are doing, like, they're big planets, and they have a big pull on us, and they're far away. But when they come, it's, you know, rare for them to move all together like this at once. And with Saturn going retrograde, you might be really feeling this Neptune and Saturn energy for this full moon. So just be aware of it. If you're feeling like, whoa, what's going on? It might just be that. It's very deep energy. It's on kind of like what our real authentic desires are about in life. And then we have deception. Yeah, I feel that you've been through some sort of deception in love. This is talking about, you know, kiss me good. There was something going on in this romantic love life. But the energy is, it's hard energy sometimes to get over, but it's worthwhile for you to do so that you can move forward. Especially like this deception could be also in business as well, or family. You know, you do what you need to do to get through this. And just remember that this energy is pretty intense, and, you know, probably maybe once this energy has passed, like July 29th, so like, you know, around the 4th or 5th of August, you might be able to make more easy decisions than this week. This is pretty intense energy, and it's really, a lot of it's happening in your sign. So just, you know, breathe through it and recognize that, like, don't make rash decisions that you don't need to make right now. Just hang in there and maybe wait until around the 3rd or 4th of August. You may notice a difference. All right, I do hope this has been beneficial for you. Thank you for your time and energy, Pisces. Your likes, comments, shares, subscribes. I really do appreciate them all. I'll be back with another reading for you soon. Bye for now.